Hi, this is Angela McFarlane and you're stamping with aMac. Today I'm going to share a card with you featuring the Bottled Happiness stamp set, and it is for our Totally Techniques blog for this month, and it is a ripped paper technique. So the theme is ripped or tearing of the paper. So this is a card that I created for an event that we held recently for a charity day event, and I just thought I'd share with you how I did this. So first of all, you'll need some Night of Navy cardstock for the base. So that's a A4 folded in half. And then I cut 2 pieces of Sahara sand, and they were 10 centimeters wide by 14.3 long, and also 1 piece of Coastal Cabana in the same size. Now, 1 piece of the Sahara sand is for the insert of the card, so you have something to write on because it's a dark background. And the other piece I have run through the Splatters 3D embossing folder, but I made sure to only run 2/3 of it through so I could leave room for the tearing up the top. And I wanted to use this so it sort of creates a little bit of extra texture, and also it could sort of be like sand on the beach or something. So my idea was sort of a message in the bottle bobbing along in the water. So I just pop that aside. So first of all, I did some sponging. I just grab a piece of scrap paper so I keep my work area clean. Well, it's not sponging, it's using the blending brushes, and I always start off the sheet, and this doesn't matter how neat or not it is, but we want it sort of fairly light, and if there's swirls in it, it really doesn't matter. I won't go too dark, and I don't need to cover the whole piece either, because we will actually be covering most of it up when we tear our paper. So that will do for that. And then the piece of Sahara sand. So what I want to do is sort of tear it along that edge that I embossed, and it'll go about 2/3 of the way across, and then I'll also tear about 1 inch from the bottom, so I'll have about 1 inch from the top and the same from the bottom, and this I'll tear in the opposite direction. I thought doing this video would be a lot easier to show you than trying to explain it in words. And now, because this is your standard cardstock, your coloured cardstock, it's actually thicker than your white or vanilla. So to roll that up, it would end up being really bulky here. So what I do is I tear off a section of that just to reduce the bulk. And you can actually break down the fibres a little bit with your bone folder. It doesn't matter that I am flattening out the embossing here. It'll just make the paper softer. And then I will start to do a really tight roll, and you could actually use a toothpick for this if you choose to. I didn't get one out this time. You can just roll that up fairly tightly. That's about as far as I want to go, and then that will sit over this piece, so I can take that out of the way. So you can see that that looks a little bit messy there, but once this will be stuck over the top of it, it will sort it out. Now what I will also do here, just to hold that in place, I'll add a little bit of tape, so our stamp and seal, and then I'll just roll it up again, and that will just help keep that roll in place. You can flatten that out a little bit if you choose to do so. Now, before you stick this down, you want to stamp your bottle, and you want to keep in mind that a fair bit of this is covered up. I might actually tear a little bit more of this away. So you can just play with this until you're happy with how it looks. So I'll just make the opening a little bit bigger for our bottle. And I want a fair bit of the bottle visible, and I want the bottle on the sides. So I'll just ink up my bottle and I'll line that up about there. Move my torn piece away and give that a nice firm stamp. And that's a good image there. I'm happy with that. And then we also want to add a cork. So I've just used soft suede ink for the cork, and you can easily line that up because they're the photopolymer stamps. It makes it super easy to line up. Before I stick this down, I will also stamp my greeting. It may have been easier for me to stamp the greeting before I started the tearing, but anyway, hopefully I'll get this straight. So I want to leave enough space for the embellishments on the side. So once again, being photopolymer. And sending cheer is a nice universal greeting, so that will work well. Once you've done that, so you can see it's quite a simple technique, and it's not terribly difficult at all. All right, so we want to add our tape or stamp and seal. Oops, stuck to my fingers. So we want to apply it on all the edges so it holds all these pieces in place as well. So then I want to line it up with that left hand top corner and then the right hand top corner. Sit that down, and I want to make sure that this is lined up as well along the bottom before I stick it all down. Oh no, I've covered up a part of my cork. So what I can do with the cork is, all right, there's always a fix. Because my bottle was a little bit high. Never mind. The wonders of videos. Oops, and I've misstamped that. So what I'll do is I'll stamp a cork. The thing I love about crafting and about Stampin' Up is that you can always fix things up or cover them up or cut them off, but there's always a solution. So I'm going to do a quick bit of fussy cutting. This will add a little bit of unplanned dimension to my card as well. So I always find when I'm fussy cutting, I find I've got more control if I place my object right at sort of the mouth of the scissors as well. So that's just a little tip for you. So now I can stamp, we can attach that. Find my mini dimensionals. These are fantastic for your little fiddly jobs. I even have some black ones somewhere, but I don't have them out at the moment. They would be really handy for this. So I just pop that over my stamped cork. So that sort of adds a little bit of texture as well. And then we just want to attach this to the front of the card. So again, I'll get my stamp and seal. I find with a stamp and seal, I tend to flick it a little bit as well, just sort of to break the bond when I'm using it, because that's what I got used to doing when we had the other stuff that we had. I forget what it's called now, never mind. Okay, I also did roughen up these edges a little bit as well, just to add an extra little bit of texture. And then I will line these up. And there we have the card. Then I will add my little embellishments. So I'm just using the rustic metallic dots, and I'll choose 3 of the little embellishments. I always find it easiest to place the center one first, and then I find I can space them evenly. I just find it a lot easier to space them, and it's up to you how close or far you want them apart. And I think these rustic metallic dots work really well with these colors. There you go. We've got the embellishments done. Now we just need to finish the inside of our card. So we need the soft suede ink. I'll just stamp a cork in there. And if you wanted to, you can add another greeting. You can say sending cheer, or sending a little message, or sending cheer, let's get into the spirit. Actually, that might be a good one to add. Let me just mount my stamp. So, okay. There we go. And this will make a great masculine card, and it can be a birthday card or anything you want, really. Right, we'll add that to the inside of our card. When I attach the inserts, I only use a little bit of adhesive. In case someone wants to reuse the card, then they can remove the insert and replace it really easily. Just line that up so we've got a nice border. And then you can't have a naked envelope. So what I like to do is we'll stamp the envelope. And I like to stamp off the envelope so it's not, the image isn't completely on. So it's always more fun to have an envelope that's stamped. And we'll just add the cork. There we go. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this super simple technique. And if this is popping up a little bit, what you can actually do is add a mini glue dot underneath as well. So I'll just roll one of those up, add that to the center to help hold that in place. So there is my tearing technique. And we sorted out the cork, which I stamped in the wrong place. But I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it inspires you to have a little bit of a play. Happy stamping. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and make sure to check out the other blog posts as well on our Totally Techniques blog link. Thanks for watching. Bye.